have a tentative chart on Slobodan Milosevic.
Oh, you do?
Came from somebody in Germany, and there's no guarantee, but at least the birth date and place are right, because somebody else who's in the University of Kentucky who looks up data for me periodically, and he confirmed everything except, of course, the time. It wouldn't be in the public record.
Who's this guy?
The guy who is the source of the horrible conditions that have been going on in Yugoslavia for years.
Oh, okay.
He is responsible for the massacres, the Serbs massacring Bosnians, and now the Kosovan Albanians. He is the guilty party.
Wow.
The chart looks
best
like
guy, bet, huh?
he's rotten to the core. He's another Saddam Hussein.
Oh my goodness.
He and the people in North Korea, they're all of a kind. You know, they just power mad, and they don't care who gets killed if they keep their power.
Yeah, that's interesting
What's
too.
his date of birth?
Milosevic, as far as I recall, yes, here it is. Sun he has in Leo. Moon conjunct Pluto and Chiron, all triple conjunction early Leo, and Sun conjunct Mercury in late Leo. 5 things in Leo.
Wow.
And 2 of them in the Leo house, the Sun and Mercury in the Leo house, and Taurus rising with Pluto holding a lifetime square to the ascendant. And of course that means also square the descendant, people who gets killed. And Mars exactly on his east point in Aries in the 12th. And that identification with God, the Aries-Pisces mixture, if it goes that way, it'll be horrifying. Now we do.
And also Hitler.
Yeah, and this he also has a Saturn-Uranus conjunction in the first house, and Saturn rules the midheaven. Both of them rule the 10th house. So the rulers of the 10th and the 1st are like, my will is law, and Mars, Aries in the 12th are like, my will is God.
Yeah.
So I can run him too if you're interested. And I've also got a chart that looks like it really is working for the Iraq Republic. I've had this for years, and I dig it out periodically when things are going on there. When he did the coup, when Saddam Hussein took over Iraq, and when it came into power, and some years ago when I was looking at the chart, I had picked out this fall because the progressed moon is on Saturn now during this fall period, and opposite Venus, and a bunch of quincunx the Sun and ascendant.
Well,
so lots of stuff. Oh, and the Sun had just reached Pluto, and the east point had just reached Uranus fairly recently. So the chart showed this fall as being critical, and it's good support for that being a valid chart.
Well, it looks like he escaped again.
Yeah, so. But he's not out of the woods. They're now asking him for the records, which are what they've been trying to get, of the development of his weapons. And they're saying, no, you're not supposed to look at records, you're just supposed to look at sites.
Ah, all right.
So he's already welching on saying he would give them open inspection. So he's not out of the woods yet. This English chart goes till December 22. But the really bad one is next Aries, the next Aries Ingress in Baghdad in March of next year. That chart is horrendous. By that time, I think we will be bombing Baghdad. March, April next year. If not before December. Anyway, right now you've got Matthew Shecky. And the main thing you see when you first pick up the chart is just that power thing, with all that Scorpio in the Leo house. And you wouldn't expect Cancer rising chart to be that, and yet Cancer is one of the potential for death. Water is closure, finishing, ending chapters, and death is one of the ways we do that. The moon, which rules the ascendant, is square it.
And this is not precisely to that minute, right?
It's the time they gave is when it happened, but who knows, it could be a minute or two off.
It could be just perhaps off like 6 minutes or so, or not 6 or 10 or 12. With that Mars on the IC?
Yeah, but I think that he was already stalking him.
Yeah.
He was looking for someone to kill during that period when the IC was going over Mars. But it's true, if we just put it back 3 degrees, which would be about 12 minutes, we put the ascendant exactly square the moon, and we put the midheaven on Mars.
That's
It's very possible that that's about when it happened. More like 12 to 15 minutes before the hour. But this is just what they reported in the newspaper.
Midheaven opposite.
Yes. Yeah, it would be a very appropriate chart to put the midheaven opposite Mars, Mars right on the IC, and the ascendant, the moon, the ascendant exactly square the moon, which rules it.
Yes, self against self, and the universe, or I mean, something external is inflicting on you.
And that would also put the east point 3 degrees earlier into a square to Mars. So there would be very appropriate aspects with that. And in fact, if the ascendant were just back in 8, it would just about also be in orb to be quincunx Pluto. Another really dramatic, appropriate aspect.
Now, we're thinking, would this be what you would call truly like an accident or an act of God? Like, in other words, Matthew didn't really bring this about unconsciously.
I would not call it an accident or an act of God. Nothing can happen to you that isn't in accord with your character.
I mean, this is just a young kid.
This is a young kid, and one of the giveaways when you hear somebody described as being so good, so nice, so loving, that shows that all the negative potential of life is not being expressed, and it isn't just missing somewhere. So whatever small seed is in there, somebody else comes and uses that in an extreme expanded form against them. So people who get attacked, mugged, raped, victimized, because they are denying their own aggressive, assertive potential to fight for their own rights, to protect themselves. And the world takes that power and uses it against them.